We'll begin with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gyananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Patakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone. We are discussing from the fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and we started the discussion of Vedic cosmology yesterday. And I had a talk with few devotees, and they were saying, "Prabhuji, ये section को skip कर देते हैं. We'll start the next section, you know, because this is a very technical section, which is, of course, I accept that this is a very intricate details which many are not so much inclined to understand, but still if we try to hear it, it is purifying. As somebody was saying, we are hearing so that because we know it, the vibration is purifying, that's why we are hearing. Otherwise Prabhuji sab sar ke upar se gaya. So but anyways, today's discussion will not be so much technical. So we saw how Parikshit Maharaj, when he asked about the Bhumandala, how what are the various parts of Bhumandala, various varshas, various continents, we can call continents of the Bhumandala. And Shukdev Goswami described that there are 9 varshas in Bhumandal. Middle one is Ilavrata Varsha, and all the other varshas he described the characteristic of each and every part of this Ilavrata Varsha. He described how around the Sumeru mountain there are 4 mountains. On top of the mountains there are trees. From those trees the rivers come out. There are rivers of honey, milk, sugar cane, and pure water. And because of this flowing river, the whole place of Ilavat Vrasha is full of all the opulences. And Prabhupada, he describes how by living in a very natural setting, by using all the natural facilities, one can automatically become prosperous. And then Shukdev Goswami describes the Sumeru mountain. On top of Sumeru mountain, we saw, as you can see in the last slide we discussed, on top of the Sumeru mountain there are the townships of the 8 Lokpals, and in the center of the Sumeru mountain there is a township of Brahma. So then after describing this, Parikshit Maharaj, Shukdev Goswami describes that how Ganga, Mother Ganga, she descended from the spiritual worlds, from the Karanodak ocean. So we discussed that this universal globe is floating in the Karunadak ocean. So Shukdev Goswami describes that when Vamanadev, he extended his feet pierced the universal coverings. There are 8 layers of the universe: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and Mahatattva. So when Vamanadev, he lifted his foot, extended his foot, and the foot touched the universal coverings, it pierced the covering, and there was a hole which was made in the universe. And from this hole, the water of the causal ocean started entering the universe. And this water washed the lotus feet of Lord Vamanadev. And that is called Ganga. That is the river Ganga. So then Shukdev Goswami describes the glory of Mother Ganga. He says that whoever touches this water of Ganga becomes purified of all the sinful activities, all the material contaminations, because this water is supremely pure, because it is the Charanodaka of Lord Vamana. And he says there are few other names of Ganga. It is also called, she is also called Vishnupadi, Bhagavatpadi, Janavi, and Bhagirathi. So then after that, Shukdev Goswami says that after 1,000 yugas, after entering this universe, after 1,000 yugas, this Vishnupadi, this Ganga, descended on Dhruva Loka. And from that place onwards, Ganga is called Vishnupad. Because this place is called Vishnupad, Dhruva Loka is a place where Supreme Lord resides. So therefore, from this place onwards, the Ganga is called as Vishnupadi. So in Dhruvaloka, Dhruv Maharaj, who is a, Shukdev Goswami says, he is a very, very determined, famous and exalted devotee. He accepts Mother Ganga on his head with great devotion because he knows that this is the water which has washed the lotus feet of Supreme Lord. So when he does so, his heart becomes completely softened. He becomes completely imbued with devotion, and his heart full of devotion, his hair starts standing on end, tears started flowing from his eyes, and that's how he would worship Mother Ganga. Prabhupada writes, when a person is firmly fixed in devotional service to the Supreme Lord, all the symptoms of ecstasy manifest in that person, and that person is called as Veera Vrata. Veera Vrata means he is determined, fully determined. So to be a devotee, we have to be really fully determined. That is called Veera Vrata. That's why in Bhagavatam 10th canto, Vasudev is also described. Tatascha Shauri Bhagavat Prachodita Sutta Samadaya Sasutika Grihat. So when Vasudev, he saw that all my sons are being killed by this Kamsa, but still he did not give up hope. He was constantly endeavoring to, procreate child because he knew that Krishna will be born in due course and he will destroy this Kamsa. Therefore, Shukdev Goswami describes Parikshit Maharaj as Shauri. Shauri means very, very powerful. What is the powerful thing? What is the great thing which Vasudev has done? Vasudev, in spite of all the problems which came in his life, seemingly on the external superficial point of view, he was completely defeated in devotional service. He could not protect his children. In the material world, in the material field, he was completely defeated. He could not protect any of his children. He could not give any of the comforts to his wife. But still, why Shukdev Goswami is calling Vasudev as Shauri? Because he did not lose the enthusiasm. He did not lose the determination to serve Krishna. So that is the one thing which is very much required for a devotee, to maintain that determination. That's why Shukdev Goswami calls Dhruv Maharaj as Veera Vrata. Veer Vrata means Dhruv Maharaj, he was so very determined, even as a small child. We discussed the whole story in great detail. Even as a small child, 5 years old child, he performed such a intense tapasya that he could attract Lord Vishnu. So therefore, we have to be intensely determined to increase our devotional service. Otherwise, things will not go the way we want. But the more we are determined to practice bhakti, if we have made a decision that I will do all these things in my Krishna consciousness, I will chant, I will read Bhagavatam, I will hear Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, I will serve devotees, I will do deity worship. We have to be determined. So this is the quality which makes a human different from an animal. Animals are determined only for eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Humans, we have the determination. We are called Veer Vrata. We can become very, very determined to practice devotional service. So therefore, Dhruv Maharaj, so Shukdev Goswami, sorry, Srila Prabhupada writes that this is a symptom of a Mahabhagavat. Dhruv Maharaj's whole body was covered with symptoms of ecstasy. Pulaka Ashru Kampas Veda Yavata Pathan. Whenever, Dhruv Maharaj, he would take the Ganga water on his Hare Krishna. So there are some problems, sorry. Yeah. So that's how when we take shelter of devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, then automatically we can develop these qualities of determination. That's why Prabhupada is focusing on this word Veer Vrata. So then after this Ganga passes through Dhruva Loka, she enters the planets of Sapta Rishis, and Sapta Rishi headed by Marichi and Vasishtha and others, they are very well aware that this water is the water which has washed the lotus feet of Lord Vamana. So they very uh, respectfully they put the water of this Ganga on their heads, and therefore, after this it is described that these acharyas, these great sages, they know that this is the ultimate wealth. The mercy of the Lord is the ultimate wealth. This is the result of all the austerities. This is the result of performing all the transcendental activities that we get the mercy of the Lord, Kripa of the Lord. And therefore, having obtained this water on their head, they do not desire for any other perfection. They are completely satisfied. So Prabhupada in the purport focuses on the difference between an impersonalist and a devotee. So this is a very important thing to understand. What is an impersonalist and what is a devotee? Impersonalist means he is interested in, he knows that he thinks that Lord only has an impersonal aspect. There is no personal form of the Lord. But devotee, he has the realization that God has a form and he has an impersonal aspect also. For a devotee, this impersonal aspect of the Lord merging in Brahman is like hell, because devotee is only interested in serving the Lord. As Kapil Dev describes in third canto, Salokya Sarishti Samipya Sarupya Aikatvam Apyuta Diyamanam na Grihananti Vina Matsevanam Janah. So Kapila Dev is telling to Mother Devahuti that my devotees, they are not interested in any of the 5 types of liberation. Merging in Brahman is even not the question. They are not even interested in all the other personal liberation. Salokya, residing in the same planet as the Lord. Samipya, having the close association of the Lord. Sarishti, having the same opulences as the Lord. So all these are not attractive for devotee if there is no devotional service. So therefore, Prabhupada describes that how devotee is higher than a yogi or a jnani. And there Prabhupada writes that yogis, they try to suppress their senses. But even great mystics like Vishwamitra, they fail in the attempt. And therefore, the highest of all yogis is a devotee of Krishna. Yoginam api sarvesham Madgaten antar atmana. Shraddhavan bhajate yo mam same yukta tamo mataha. So therefore, in the struggle for controlling senses, even the jnanis and the yogis, they fail. But devotee of the Lord very easily, naturally transcends all the material attractions. When Haridas Thakur, he was attracted by Maya Devi. Maya Devi, she was showing all her feminine beauty, all the attraction of the material world was put in front of Haridas Thakur. She comes and she personally pleads to Haridas, "Oh Haridas Thakur, you are such a handsome young man. Please show mercy. I am under your shelter. Please enjoy with me." Haridas Thakur says, "I have taken a vow to chant 1 lakh names every day, 3 lakh names every day. So after I complete it, then I will fulfill your desire." And then Maya Devi, she was showing all her beauty. "Et boli nana bhav karoy prakash, yaha darshane munir hoy dhairya nash." Even great sages would get bewildered. But Nirvikar Haridas Gambhir Ashay Tahare Bolila Kuchu Haya Sade. But Haridas was Nirvikar. He was not having any emotion on his face because Krishne Nama Vishtamana Sada Haridas Aranye Rodit Hoila Stri Bhava Prakash. Haridas Thakur was completely absorbed in Krishna Nama Avishta. His man was Krishna Nama Avishta. Problem is our mind is not many times avished in Krishna. Our mind is many times avished in Maya. One devotee came to Prabhupada and he said, "Prabhupada, uh, most of the times I am conscious of Krishna, but sometimes I fall in Maya." Prabhupada said, "Actually, it is other way around. Most of the times you are in Maya, sometimes you fall in Krishna." So that is our position many times. So unless we transcend all these modes of nature by serious and sincere and determined practice of Krishna consciousness, then the modes will keep troubling us. So therefore, Prabhupada writes how devotee is even higher. Then uh, Shukdev Goswami further describes, after entering the universe, then Ganga reaches Dhruvaloka. From Dhruvaloka, Ganga reaches 7 planets, the Saptarishis Mandal. And from there, Ganga is carried through the space airway by the demigods in billions of celestial airplanes. From in these planes, Ganga is carried and it reaches Chandra Loka. So then from Chandraloka, finally Ganga reaches to Mount Meru. We heard about Meru Parvat. On the top of the Meru Parvat, we saw there are the cities of 8 Lokpalas, and in center there is a township of Brahma. So now this Ganga reaches this Mount Meru. So Prabhupada writes further what happens. Prabhupada writes that after this Ganga reaches Mount Meru, travels to all the Jambu Dvipa, and then it goes underground, goes to lower planetary systems, and then she also reaches the peak of Himalayas, and from there reaches Haridwar, and then purifying the entire land, then it reaches actually the various parts of India. So then Shukdev Goswami says that on top of when the Ganga, as you can see in this picture, when the Ganga falls on the top of this Mount Meru, she first of all falls on the township of Brahma. And then after completely inundating this Brahmapuri, the Ganga gets divided into 4 branches. And in the north, east, south, and west, Ganga divides into Bhadra, Sita, Alaknanda, and Chakshu. These are the 4 branches of Ganga which are formed on the top of Mount Meru. Then after that, what happens? It is described here, as you can see in this slide. So Ganga falls from the top of Mount Meru. And then we had discussed that Mount Meru is surrounded by the uh, thin pencil-like mountains, which are called Kesarachal mountains. So from the top of Mount Meru, Ganga falls on the top of these mountains, and from there, Ganga falls on the four directions in the Jambu Dvipa. And you can see in this slide the different courses of the four uh, parts of Ganga are described. Will not go into the details. So then after describing the details of the flow of Ganga, now Shukdev Goswami describes what is the benefit of bathing in Ganga. He says that persons who come to bathe in Ganga, they are most fortunate. Why? Because they can easily achieve the result of performing all the sacrifices like Ashwamedha and Rajasuya Yagya. First canto, it is described about the glories of Mother Ganga. Ya Vailasashre Tulasi Vimishra Krishnangri Renu Abhyadikam Bunitri Punati Lokanubhayatra Seshan Kastam Na Seveta Marishyamanaha. Yavai Lasastri Tulasi Vimishra. This Ganga is mixed with the tulasi leaves which are offered on the lotus feet of Lord. Krishnangri Renum. And along with the tulasi, it is mixed with the dust from the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Punati Lokan Ubhayatra Seshan. And then whoever takes bath in this Ganga become purified. It purifies, Ganga purifies all the three planetary systems. Ganga is the river which flows in all the three planetary systems. In the heavenly planets, it is called, she is called as Bhogavati, she is called as Alakananda, and the Bhumandala, she is called as Ganga. In the lower planetary systems, she is called as Bhogavati. Punati Lokan Ubhayatra Seshan Kastam Na Seveta Marishyamanaha. Who is that personality who will not take shelter of Ganga, who will not take bath in Ganga? So that is the glory of Mother Ganga. So then it is described, this Ganga divides into many other small rivers and supplies the water all over Jambu Dvipa. So then after describing the flow of Ganga, now Shukdev Goswami starts the description of the 9 varshas of Jambu Dvipa. Very interesting description now starts. As you can see in this slide, on the down part of the slide, there is a Bharata Varsha. So this Bharat Varsha is considered to be the field of fruitive activities, and our Earth planet, we'll discuss in the further discussion, it is on the lowermost part of this Bharat Varsha. So this Bharat Varsha is a place where we or anybody generate karmic activities. All the other varshas, they are meant for enjoyment. All the other varshas, the people, those who live there, they do not suffer from any of the sinful reactions. Only in Bharat Varsha, people, living entities can generate karma, either good or bad. Other varshas, they are like heaven. So Prabhupada writes that there are 3 types of heavenly planets. First is heaven, Divya Swarga, celestial. Second is Bhauma Swarga, that is Jambu Dvipa. All the other varshas apart from Bharat Varsha, they are heaven. And as Prabhupada would say, even on earth, Hawaii is like a heaven. He said the same about many places. But in this Jambu Dvipa, Bharat Varsha is the only place where we can perform some karmic activities. We can either become sinful or we can become pious. In all the other varshas, it is primarily meant for enjoyment. It is a heaven. It is a Bhauma Swarga. And therefore, Shukdev Goswami describes that all the other varshas, Kuru Varsha, Hiranyamaya Varsha, Ramyak Varsha, Ilavrata Varsha, Bhadrasrava Varsha, Ketumal Varsha, Hari Varsha, and Kim Purusha Varsha, they are heaven on Bhumandala, and they are meant for enjoying uh, all the heavenly pleasures. Therefore, it is meant for highly elevated people. We have heard in Bhagavad Gita, Shine Punya Marti Lokam Vishanti. When the Devatas they fall down, their pious credit is over, they fall down to earth. Where do they fall? They don't come to our earth planet. From there, they take birth in the various varshas of this Bhumandala, this Jambudvipa. And in these planets, in these varshas, they enjoy for a long, long time. It is said that I will discuss about the lifespan of these uh, persons staying in these planets, these varshas. Prabhupada writes, anywhere in this material world you go, you cannot stay for long. This place is temporary. So best thing is, intelligent thing is to take to devotional service. Even if you go to heaven, you will fall. Even if you go to any of the other varshas, you will come ultimately to Bharat Varsha. Because Bharat Varsha is a like the junction, as we discuss in our journey of self discovery courses. This Bharat Varsha is like a junction. And Prabhupada writes that by surrendering to the bona fide spiritual master, we can actually perfect our lives. Ei rupe brahmand bhramite kona bhagyavana jeev Guru Krishna kripaye paye bhakti lata bij. So therefore, Prabhupada writes that the business of a pure transcendentalist is he is not interested in any material enjoyment in this world. He is only interested in anya abhilashita shunyam. So Shukdev Goswami describes that in these other varshas, demigods, they are like devatas. Humans, they are like devatas. They live for 10,000 years. They have a very strong body, and their body has strength of 10,000 elephants. And the residents of these varshas, they enjoy sexual union for a long time. They enjoy for a long time, but the women, they conceive only once in the last year of their lives, and that is the happiness they enjoy there. So that is like a Treta Yuga happiness. So Prabhupada writes, in spiritual world, people are not attracted by all this material attraction. You know, people there in the spiritual planets, they are just interested in chanting the names of Lord, glorifying the names of Lord. We discussed in the third canto. It is described about the residents of Vaikuntha. Vaimanika salalana charitani shashvat gayanti yatra shamalam shapanani bharatu antarjalenu vikasan madhumadhavinam gandhena khandita dhiha apyanilam shimantaha. So in the spiritual world, there are the denizens of spiritual world. They are most beautiful. Vaimanika, they have their personal chartered airplanes. They can go at their will. They don't need any fuel to be put. They don't need any pilot. By their will, they can go anywhere in that plane. Not alone, salalana, along with their beautiful wives, but along with their wives who are so beautiful. What they are doing? Gayanti yatra shamalam shapanani bharatu. They are glorifying the names and the pastimes and the qualities of the Lord. Even though they pass through the beautiful gardens of Vaikuntha, the very fragrant breeze it comes, but it does not disturb them. So that is the beauty of Vaikuntha denizens. In this world, people are attracted by this pumsa istriya maithuni bhavametat, but in the spiritual world, it is not there. So wherever you go in this material world, wherever you go, even you go to heaven, even if you go to any other varshas, the desire to enjoy will be there. So therefore, the best means is to practice devotional service and come out of this desire for enjoyment personally. Krishnera pritivancha, Atmendriya pritivancha, tare boli kam, Krishnendriya priticha, dhare premanam. So when we try to serve Krishna, that is love. When we try to serve our senses, that is lust. So then Shukdev Goswami describes that all these other varshas, the other 8 varshas, they are filled with gardens. Gardens have beautiful flowers and fruit bearing trees. There are very beautiful mountains and the lakes of clear water with all the very nice swans and all the birds they are there. And the inhabitants of all these lands, they are acting as the leader even amongst devatas, and they enjoy along with their wives for a long time. So that is a description of all the all the varshas. In every varsha it is like that only. Apart from Bharat Varsha, we'll discuss about all these in detail. So then Shukdev Goswami says, but the interesting thing about all these varshas is Supreme Lord resides in each of these varsha as a predominating deity, presiding deity. In Ilavrat Varsha, Lord resides as Shankarshana. In Bhadrashva Varsha, and the main inhabitant, as you can see in this slide, the main inhabitant in Ilavrat Varsha is Lord Shiva. We'll discuss about this in some time. In Hari Varsha, Prahlad resides, and then in Ketumal Varsha, Lakshmiji resides. In Ramyak Varsha, we have heard about Vaivaswat Manu, the current Manu. There are 14 Manus in a day of Brahma. Where does those Manu stay? Vaivaswat Manu is currently staying in Ramyak Varsha. And then in Hiranmaya Varsha, the predominating and the presiding deity of Ramyak Varsha is Matsya. Presiding deity of Ketumal Varsha is Kamadeva. And in Hiranmaya Varsha, Aryama lives. So we have heard when Yamaraj was punished, cursed to become a Shudra, this Aryama became Yamaraj. And in Hiranmaya Varsha, Lord resides as Kurma. In Kuru Varsha, the key inhabitant is Mother Earth. She is the predominating deity there. She is the main inhabitant, and the presiding deity is Varahadev. And then in Kim Purusha Varsha, we know Hanuman is still living. Hanumanji is still there. Where does he live? He does not live on this earth. He does not live in Bharat Varsha also. He lives in Kim Purusha Varsha. And the predominating deity, presiding deity is Lord Ram. And in our Bharat Varsha, Narad Muni is the key inhabitant, and Nar Narayan Rishis, they are the presiding deities. So this is another pictorial presentation of various deities and the various key inhabitants of the various varshas. So as you can see in the Kim Purusha Varsha, Hanumanji is still living, Sugriv is still there, and they are worshipping Lord Ram. In Hari Varsha, Prahlad is there, worshipping Lord Narsimhadev, and so on. All the other planets, all the other varshas, the various inhabitants, they are worshipping their presiding deities. Now, after describing this, Shukdev Goswami starts the description of Ilavrat Varsha. So from this verse onwards till 19th chapter, there are beautiful prayers which are offered by various inhabitants of all the varshas. So in Ilavrat Varsha, which is the middle part, you can see in this picture, the middle Varsha, which is a square shaped, the predominating person, the key inhabitant, and the only male inhabitant there is Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva resides as the only male inhabitant in Ilavrat Varsha. And Goddess Durga does not like any other man to enter that land. But if a foolish man dares to enter, she immediately turns him into a woman. And we'll discuss this in the 9th canto. It will be explained, the story. how a famous king, he became a lady, Sudyumna. And Chakravarti Thakur writes that this curse is effective only between the mountains of Kailash and Karavira. We saw around the Mount Sumeru, there are two mountains on each direction, two on the down, two south, two north, two west. So between Karavira and Kailash mountains, this curse is effective. So there, Lord Shiva is always surrounded by the servants, maid servants of goddess Durga. How many maid servants? 10 billion maid servants. Shiva, he knows that Sankarshana, he is the original cause of his own existence. He knows that he is the avatar of Lord Shankarshana. He is the Guna avatar. So Lord Shiva worships him there, and he worships the spiritual form of Lord. Although Lord Shiva is in charge of ignorance, therefore Lord Shiva is also called Tamasi. So Lord Shiva, he worships the Lord with beautiful mantras. So first of all, he says, I offer my obeisances to Lord Sankarshana. He is a supreme person, Mahapurushaya. He is the reservoir of all the transcendental qualities. Is Sarva Guna Sankhyanaya, the reservoir of all the transcendental qualities. Then he is unlimited, he is Anantaya, he is unfathomable, he is Avyaktaya. Then this beautiful verse which is there on the slide is spoken by Lord Shiva. Bhaje bhajanya ranapad pankajam bhagasya kritsnasya paramparayam bhakteshwalam bhavita bhuta bhavanam bhavapaham tva bhavabhavam ishwaram bhaje bhajanyarana pada pankajam. I worship the worshipable Lord, whose lotus feet protect the devotees from all the dangers. That is the glory of the lotus feet of the Lord. Which is the greatest danger for a devotee? The danger of material existence. Sanchintayed bhagavatas charanaravindam vajrankushadhvaja saroruhalanchanadhyam uttunga rakta vilasannaka chakravala jyotsna bhirahat mahadridayandakaram. So therefore, when we take shelter of the Lord, when we take darshan of the Lord, first we should meditate on the lotus feet of the Lord for a long time. Why? Because Lord's lotus feet, they are marked with the symbols of Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Vajra, Ankusha, Dhwaj, and Saroruha. These are the four symptoms which are described. There are 18 symbols on the lotus feet of the Lord. And when we take darshan of the lotus feet of the Lord, there is a effulgence which comes from the toenails of the Lord. That effulgence can destroy the ignorance which is there in the heart of a devotee. The ignorance of their own identity is destroyed. Jivara Swarupa Hoye Krishna Nityadas. Our eternal constitutional position will be revealed. Marganti yatte mukhapadmanidai chandai suparnai rishayo viviktai yasyagamarsho saridvaraya param padam tirtha padam prapanna. So when we take shelter of the scriptures of given by the Supreme Lord, they are very, very conducive to take us to the lotus feet of the Lord. Because these scriptures, they are the favorable winds. Chandai suparanai rishayo viviktai. The chandas, the scriptures, they are like the very favorable winds. And therefore, whoever takes shelter of your lotus feet, O my Lord, they vanquish yasya agha marsha uda saritvaraya. Their O Lord, your lotus feet can destroy all the sinful reaction which is there. We have accumulated, and it gives all the knowledge. That is the glory of Lord's lotus feet. Therefore, Lord Shiva is praying, Bhaje bhajanyarana pad pankajam bhagasya kritsnasya paramparayanam. Lord Sankarshan is the source of all the opulences. Bhagavan, the word Bhaga comes. Prabhupada would describe many times this Bhagavan, the source of 6 opulences. So Bhagasya Kritsnasya, Kritsnas means in totality. So Supreme Lord is the reservoir of all the opulences in totality. Bhakteshwalam Vitabhuta Bhavanam. Supreme Lord, he manifests only for the satisfaction of his devotees. Lord does not have any other purpose to enter in this world. He appears as his own avatar. He appears as scriptures. He appears as deity. He appears as spiritual master. He appears as devotees of the Lord for the welfare of devotees, to show mercy to all the devotees. Yad yad dhyata urugaya vibhavayanti tattad vapu pranayase sadanugrahaya. In whatever form the devotee wants to see the Lord, Lord appears in that form. Bhavapaham tva bhavabhavamishwaram. Bhava apaha. Lord is the source. Lord is the only person who can stop the repetition of bhava bhava, repetition of birth and death. And he is the Ishvara. He is the original uh, person who owns this entire universe. And then Lord Shiva is praying. Nayasya maya gunachitta vrittibhir nirikshato hyanvapi drishti ajyate ishe yathano ajitmanyuramhasam kastam namanyeta jigishuratmanah. So he says, although the Lord glances over the material nature, Lord, from the various energies of the Lord, this material energy, material universe is created. But Lord is not affected by all these things. In the second canto also it is described. The Lord's form is always transcendental. He may engage through his Purusha avatars in the creation, in the maintenance, in the destruction. He is not personally affected. As Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita also. Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptam avaptavyam. Although I engage in all these things, I don't need to do all that, but I am setting a right example. And while doing so, I am not entangled in all these. Therefore, those who worship this form of the Lord, he becomes free from all the modes. So therefore, when the person who worships the Lord becomes free from the modes, how can Lord be under the modes? So that is the glory of the Lord. So therefore, Lord Shiva says that Ishe yatha no ajit mannu ramhasam. He says, we cannot control the forces of anger. Therefore, I take shelter of you, O my Lord. So if we are troubled by our senses, our conditionings, lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, illusion, only thing we can do is we can take shelter of the Lord. Yatpad pankaja palasa vilasa bhaktya karmashayam grasitamudgrathayanti santah tadavannariktamatayo yatayo piruddha shroto ganastamaranam bhajavasudevam. So it is described, people in this world and all the yogis, they are trying their best to control their senses, but they cannot do so. Only a devotee of the Lord can control his senses. And then Supreme Lord says that it appears that Lord's eyes is intoxicated. Why it is intoxicated? It is intoxicated not with lust, not with pride, not with anger. He is intoxicated by love for his devotees. He says that Nagpatnis, when they worship Lord Shankarshana, when they touch the beautiful lotus feet of Lord Sankarshana, they become shy because they are attracted by the beauty of Lord. But Lord is not attracted. Lord is unagitated. So therefore, Lord is not agitated by anything of the world. We discussed in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. When Lord Krishna, he entered Dwarka, all the queens of Dwarka, queens of Krishna, they were trying to attract Krishna's attention. And they were showing all the feminine beauty, but they were not able to attract Krishna. Uddama bhava pishunama laval guhasa vridavalokanihato madano piyasam Sammuhya chapamajahat pramadostamasta yasya indriyai vimatitum kuhakairna sheku. These queens, Uddama Bhava, they were showing all the feminine beauty. Valguhasa, smiling very beautifully, gently. Vriravaloka, glancing on Supreme Lord in coyly glances, it is written, coyly glances. Vriravaloka nihato madano piyasa. To such an extent, even Madana, Cupid gets bewildered. Sammohya chapamajahat, and in bewilderment, in frustration, Kamdev gives up his bow. But yasya indriyai vimatitum kuhakai nasheku. But these glances, these smiles, they are not able to attract Lord Krishna. Therefore, this is the glory of the Lord. Lord is not attracted by any beauty of the world. Why then Krishna was attracted by queens? He was attracted by the devotion of the queens. Etadishanamishasya prakritistopi tadgunaihi nayujyate datmastairitha buddhi tadashraya. Similarly, the devotees of the Lord, they are also not agitated. They are also not disturbed by all the material distractions. Their heart is the ocean of bliss. Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu. They are not disturbed. That's what we are aspiring for. When we are in the outside world, so many times we are bewildered, we are attracted, we are distracted. The more our heart is full of rasa of devotion, will not be attracted by things of the world. Of course, we have personally experienced that. We have advanced little bit, but still, when the force of material nature increases, we become disturbed. So therefore, there is a hope. We have to struggle till the last breath of our life. Saknoti have yashodum prak sharir vimokshanat. Till the last breath of our life, we have to struggle this calm and krodha vega. But the good thing is, the more we struggle, the struggle becomes manageable. The more we try to push the forces of Maya, the more we become strong and determined. Just like a firefighter. On day one, the firefighter may become very uh, disturbed seeing the fire. But after 10 years or 20 years, fire will remain the same. Firefighter will not be disturbed. That's what happens. When we take shelter of the devotional service, we become more and more strong, more and more steady in devotion. Then this Lord Shiva, he says that you are the Lord of all the creation, maintenance, and distraction, and or destruction. And therefore, he says, although Supreme Lord has nothing to do with all these three things, creation, maintenance, and destruction, but he still does it. And then he says, Lord Shiva says that as Sesha, Supreme Lord holds this entire universe. And we'll see in our further discussions how Lord Shesha upholds the entire Bhumandala. So then Lord Shiva says that Supreme Lord created Brahma. Brahma created me, because from Brahmaji, Lord Shiva came. We discussed in the third canto. And then Lord Shiva says, I am involved in creation of these devatas and all the elements and the senses. Therefore, I worship him, because we are all controlled by the Supreme Lord. Only by his grace we can create this universe. In the second canto also, Brahmaji says that Yena Swarochisha Vishwam Rochayam Rochitam Rochayamyaham. When Narad Muni asked, I think you are the Supreme Lord, because you are creating all this universe and you are not dependent on anyone. You have taken everything in your hand, just like amalaki fruit. You are just like the spider who spins the web and winds it up. So who are you? Then Brahmaji says, actually, I am not doing anything. Supreme Lord is the creator. I am creating what is already created by the Lord. That is what Lord Shiva is also saying here. Then Lord Shiva says, person who is bewildered by Maya, he cannot understand all this. Without the mercy of the Lord, nobody can understand this material creation. Nobody can get out of this Maya. This is only possible by mercy of the Lord. Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya. Material nature is Duratyaya, insurmountable. Maya Devi is not difficult to cross. She is insurmountable to cross. Therefore, Mamevaya Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. Whoever surrenders to Krishna, he can very easily cross this ocean of material existence. So therefore, Prabhupada writes, this material nature is controlled by Lord, and scientists, by all their effort, they will never be able to find the origin of this world. Athapi te dev padambujadvaya prasadaleshanugrihita eva hi janati tattvam bhagavan mahimno nachanya eko pichiram vichinvan. So Brahmaji says, Brahmaji's prayers, it comes in the 10th canto. He says, only by the mercy of the Supreme Lord one can understand him. Prasad lesh anugrihit eva. By the lesh of the mercy, by a drop of mercy of the Supreme Lord, one can understand the Lord. Otherwise, scientists, they are speculating for thousands of years. They will never understand. They will never understand who is Lord, what is the material creation. It is very difficult. And Prabhupada writes a very detailed purport in this verse. This is the last verse of this chapter, 17th chapter. And there Prabhupada writes that people, they are engaged in fruitive activities in this world. And because living entities, they are engaged in fruitive activities, they keep on traveling, wandering in all this material creation. Brahmanda Brahmite, Kauno Bhagyavanaji. Only by mercy of the devotees, if somebody gets Krishna, he becomes fortunate. And therefore, Prabhupada writes there that living entity becomes entangled in the fruitive activity and keeps wandering, keeps struggling in this material nature. Chakravarti Thakur writes another interesting thing. He says that this Lord Shiva is saying, I offer my respects to the Supreme Lord who destroys the Maya for non-devotees, who destroys Maya for devotees, and who creates Maya for non-devotees. This is a job description of the Lord. Lord destroys Maya for the devotees and creates Maya for non-devotees. Why? Ye yathamam prapadyante. If we want Maya, Krishna will provide Maya. So it all depends on our desires. If we are having problem in Krishna consciousness, that means we are not having the desire to serve Krishna. That is the only reason that we are experiencing some difficulty. If we are having no taste, that means we didn't want it. Or we tried but not with our full heart. Otherwise, why Krishna will not give us taste? Because we are not struggling enough. Because Lord's job description is he destroys Maya for his devotees. But if we are not sufficiently eager to get his mercy, Krishna will not give the mercy. Because Krishna, when he gives mercy, he becomes purchased by his devotees. Therefore, he does not give the mercy unless we want it. We have to show that eagerness. Laulyam api mulyam ekalam janma koti sukritir na labhyate. Otherwise, for thousands and thousands of lifetimes, we will not get the mercy of the Lord. So we have to want it. I want mercy. I want some taste. That should be our hope. That should be our desire. So therefore, this is the benefit of getting connected to Krishna consciousness. We are not alone in our struggle. Supreme Lord is there on our side. Supreme Lord can fulfill all our spiritual and all our material desires also. As one devotee was sharing, that in ISKCON you get best of everything. You get best of Krishna also, you get best of Maya also. It depends on what do you want. So if we are looking for Krishna, we'll find supreme, highest level of Krishna Prem. But if you want name, fame, prestige, adoration, distinction, we'll get that also in ISKCON. People will praise, people will glorify you, Prabhuji, you are so great, you are my savior. But if you are not careful, if you are not serious, if you are not sincere, if you are not attentive, then we will get distracted. So that is the glory of Krishna consciousness. Krishna is there for his devotees. Anya kami adi kare Krishnera bhajan namagiteha Krishna tare dena swacharan. If somebody wants some material benefits, but he worships Krishna, Krishna does not give them material benefits. He gives his own lotus feet. Krishna kohe ama bhaje mage vishay sukh amrit chhade vishamage ei bada murkh. Krishna says he is worshipping me, he is asking for sense gratification. I will not give him sense gratification. He is foolish, I am not foolish, I am intelligent. Ami bigyai murkha bishay ke na diba swacharnamrit diya bishay bhulaiba. I will give him my own charanamrit. He will forget all sense gratification. That is the glory of Krishna's devotional service. Kamalagi Krishna bhaje paye Krishna rase. Kamalagi kamachadi das hoite hoye abhilashe. If somebody wants sense gratification, he worships Krishna. Krishna gives him Krishna rasa. That's what we are hankering for. Paye Krishna rase. It will come, but if we are not desiring that, it may take lots of time. Therefore, we have to desire from the bottom, from the core of our heart, because we are suffering in this material world. Etadhyatur chittanam matra sparshe chayamho bhavasindu plavo drishto hari charyan varnanam. People in this world, they are suffering all the pains of this world. Only Krishna Katha can deliver us from all this misery. So that is the prayer of Lord Shiva. So this 17th chapter ends here. So we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. There are some questions. Where were Bali Maharaj with respect to this figure? Okay, Bali Maharaj is not on Bhumandala. We'll discuss about Bali Maharaj in our further sessions. He is in the lower planetary systems. In this Bhumandala is like a lotus leaf. It is a thick lotus leaf, and on top of that we are discussing only the surface. So this is the surface of Bhumandala. Bali Maharaj is inside and on the lower planetary systems. We'll discuss that. Dhruv Maharaj is in material. Okay, so the question is, Dhruva Loka is in material world or spiritual world? So Dhruva Loka is in material world only, but in Dhruva Loka, Supreme Lord resides. In material world, in this universe, there are 3 places where Lord resides. There are 3 Vaikunthas in this material world also. One is the Shweta Dvipa, which is between Bhuvar Loka and Bhumandala. Bhuvar Loka and Swarga Loka. Second is this Dhruva Loka. Dhruva Loka is also Vaikuntha. Third Vaikuntha is above Brahma Loka. So Dhruva Loka is in material world, but it is Vaikuntha. Where is the base of Meru mountain? Base is the Meru mountain is in the middle of Ilavrat Varsha. I'll just go back to show you. Yeah, in this picture you can see this is the view of Bhumandala from above. So the base of Sumeru mountain is in the middle of the Ilavrat Varsha. So that is the base of Ilavrat Meru mountain. Chandraloka and our earth moon are different. No, they are same. This Chandraloka and the moon we can see, it is same. Is Swargaloka in Golok chart and Swarga in this Bhauma Swarga same or different? Okay. So the Swarga in the Golok chart, there is a chart, a famous chart. In that there is Swarga which is mentioned. That is the heavenly Swarga. The Swarga of Bhauma, Bhumi Mandal page of Swarga, that is all the Varshas, Kuru Varsha, Hiranmaya Varsha, Ramyak Varsha, Ketumal Varsha, Bhadrashva Varsha, Hari Varsha, and Kumpurusha Varsha. Apart from Bharat Varsha, All the other varshas, they are bhaum swarga. They are heaven. There are no pains, no disease, no anxiety. Their body is fragrant. We discussed yesterday. So that is, there are three swargas we discussed. There is a heavenly swarga, divya swarga. There is a bhaum swarga, and actually all the lower planetary systems, they are also swarga. We are the only one where we are not staying in swarga. Everybody else apart from Bharatvarsha, they are swarga. They are doing lots of enjoyment. Okay. In other versions also they are performing bhakti. Yes, that's why we hear all these all these other varshas. There are all the great inhabitants. We'll see now further chapters. All the inhabitants of these varshas, they are devotees of the Lord. They are performing devotional service and they will get liberated after that. Okay. So anyone has any other questions, or we'll stop here? Okay, so thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki Jai.